Hello. It was just about a month ago that Pope Francis was in the United States, and the Catholic Church was a focus for so many people throughout the United States and beyond. Some of you even have traveled there and been part of the crowds to welcome the Pope. Most of us followed so much of it on television, and we found that we've been in conversations with people within the church and beyond who were not just fascinated and intrigued, but moved by the Pope's presence. That was precisely a month ago. Now, on Sunday, October 25th, we'll be having two sessions where we have an opportunity to talk a little bit more about the meaning of the Pope's visit. That'll be on that Sunday, October 25th, after the 9 o'clock Mass and after the 5 p.m. Mass that night. Both of those meetings will be in Heman Hall. As we saw the Pope coming, and as we saw the Pope in his visit and his ministry here, he touched so many of us by the way he preached, by the words of wisdom and compassion as he was teaching us, by the words of challenge and by the actions of challenge as we saw the Pope just living out everything he believes. We saw him as a person who extended mercy, a person who extended love, a person who had a particular tenderness for children and for those who were struggling or suffering in any kind of way. It was a great moment for us. A great moment for us as a church, a great moment for us as individuals, a great moment for us as we connected with the Pope in his mission and his holy personality. But what we want to do is to ask ourselves, what's going to be the enduring influence of his visit? In so doing, I think we'll want to come together and have the opportunity to ask the question, how can we keep this going? How can we keep the enthusiasm going, the impact that the Pope has had upon us? You know, already we're seeing people who are becoming interested in the church and who are, it's like the fulcrum for them that has helped them to say, I want to investigate more about being a Catholic. But I think it also leads us to say, what does it mean to be Catholic? How can we go deeper into our faith? And so it'll be important for us to have a chance to review not only what he said, but how it impressed us in our world, to process the experience that we had, and to let ourselves be stimulated by the Spirit of God as we talk it through, and as we hear one another, and as we hear ourselves, and perhaps even hear a voice within that we didn't know that we would be drawing from. I think we'll have to be asking, well, what does this mean for us as a parish, as Christ the King, as our cathedral, as we reflect on how the Pope has impacted our lives and our community? I think it's going to be helpful for us to ask, what's this mean for our loved ones, for our family members, and particularly for family members who've been overwhelmed by questions that they don't have answers to with regard to the church. I think we can ask the question too, what does his visit mean for us as a nation? He was ministering not just to the Catholic community, he was reaching out to families, reaching out to our legislators, reaching out to our educators, reaching out to leaders throughout our country. So we'll be asking, as we look at all this, we'll be reflecting on what was the most powerful moment for us as we witnessed this trip. We'll be asking what we might have understood as the overarching message that he has for us as the church, not only in North America, but throughout the Americas. Not only by what he said, but how he handled himself, how he presented himself, how he was so uncomplicated and yet deep. And I think we might ask even of ourselves, how did this message challenge us in one particular way or so? And what's it going to lead us to? What will we be doing about it? You see, we don't want this to be just an event of the past. We don't want it to be just a peak experience that we chalk up. But I think we want it to be something that we know makes a difference. So I invite you. I look forward to being part of this with you as we reflect together, as we have a chance for you to talk with one another, for people who gather to be able to hear the insights and the feelings of one another, even as a little bit would be presented about the highlights of the Pope and his visit. So again, that'll be on Sunday, October 25th. It'll be following the 9 o'clock Mass in Heman Hall. It'll be following the 5 p.m. Mass in Heman Hall. I hope you can make it a priority to put it on your calendar, and not only to be part of an interesting conversation, but to be part of an event that would have some of the same spirit of the Pope's visit, that it will help us to understand who we are as members of the Church, who we are as followers of Christ, who we are as citizens of our world, and how his message and his personality have guided us to go deeper and encouraged us to take the next step. May God bless you.